Now, millions of Americans have started voting in the country's midterm elections. The Republicans are expected to take control of the Senate from the Democrats, who are already struggling with approval ratings for President Obama tumbling. All 435 seats of the US House of Representatives are up for grabs. The House is already controlled by the Republicans, who have 233 seats to the Democrats' 199. Voters will also elect just over a third of the 100 seats in the US Senate. Democrats currently control the Senate with 53 to 45. But with 51 seats needed for a majority, just 6 Republican gains could mean big trouble for President Obama's last 2 years in power. The race is close in several states, including North Carolina, from where our US correspondent Dominic Waghorn sent us this report.
At a food festival in Durham, North Carolina, healthy appetites, but not for politics. Voters here are fed up with politicians and their campaigns.
They're horrible. They're so negative. They make me feel dirty when I watch them.
I try not to spend my time thinking about it, honestly. Yeah.
What's that?
Because I don't want my day ruined.
I think they're equally bad. There's not a lot of integrity on either side. You can't find a particular side that actually has any amount of integrity.
That bad, is it?
It's that bad. It's that bad, unfortunately.
With voters in that kind of resentful mood, neither party can expect a ringing endorsement, however these midterm elections turn out. The president is unpopular, the economy barely recovering, and most of the competitive battles in this election are in states like North Carolina that have been moving towards Republicans. So you might have thought it would be easy for them to retake the Senate, but it's far closer than that.
Out-of-state gun control groups are all in for Kay Hagan.
With the race so close, supporters on both sides are pouring unprecedented amounts of money into campaigns.
Speaker Tillis should be ashamed for running an ad that says, "I would let our soldiers die in vain."
$100 million in North Carolina alone, most of it on negative advertising. Campaign finance limits have been scrapped, and activists say this is democracy for sale.
This is fundamentally an auction. We're turning our election into an auction. Who can throw the most money in can gain control of this state and the U.S. Senate. So it's very disturbing what's happening here. This is not democracy of the people. This is now dollars rule.
Overall, the winners are likely to be Republicans, who may narrowly seize control of the Senate. The losers will be the voters, tired of negative campaigns, exhausted by political gridlock, and almost certain to face more of the same for another 2 years.
Well, Republican Kate Andrews from the think tank, the Adam Smith Institute, is in central London for us now. Hi Kate, thanks for joining us on Sky News this afternoon. Just 6 seats away from controlling both houses.
Yep, just 6 states away, but it is still going to be a close call. I think most likely tonight we're going to see the Republicans take Congress, but it has been an uphill battle and has taken years for Republicans to get to the point where they're able to have national conversations with people and watch the people respond in a positive way. And it looks like the Democrats are going to have to start rethinking their strategies and rethinking who they're aligning themselves with coming up to 2016. People are upset. They're upset with President Obama and his policies. He asked for his policies to be on the ballot for the midterm elections, and this is the result. The Republicans are most likely going to take the Senate. The economy is still not looking particularly great. If you put together people who are out of work, people who are underemployed or in part-time work, then the numbers of unemployment are still in double digits. People are very upset that millions of people have lost their health care policies under Obamacare or the Affordable Health Care Act, and that millions more people are looking at hiked up premiums and won't be able to pay for their insurance. And the Democrats haven't been able to talk about these issues because they voted for most of them.
Have to be careful though, don't you, as Republicans, because the Democrats are incredibly good, and we've seen it previously, at rallying support just ahead of an election.
They are, but if you look at the polls recently, even the past couple of days, they've been moving towards Republicans, which is a great sign. And unfortunately for the Democrats, they had to become single-issue campaigners this election season. They couldn't talk about the economy or health care, so they've been talking about the mythical war on women, and they've been doing a lot of race baiting, and it hasn't gone down well. People are feeling the problems with the economy at home, and women are no longer being easily convinced that their reproductive rights are at risk. If you look at what's happened in Colorado, which voted for Barack Obama in 2008 and 2012, the Republican is in the lead by a couple of percentage points because the Democrat focused so heavily on the war on women that it became a joke, whereas the Republican was actually able to talk about the issues that matter. And while election tactics and negative campaigning does go a far way, and we saw that in 2012, at some point, people turn around and they say, you know what, this is empty rhetoric. I want real change. And we've had 6 years of Barack Obama. He can no longer blame George Bush. He can no longer blame previous Republicans for the problems that we have. And we're now seeing the results of that.
Are you offended by the ridiculously large campaign budgets?
No, I'm not offended by it at all. I understand why people...
It's an absurd amount of money to spend on a campaign. Is it $200 million in one state alone?
It is an incredible amount of money, you're right. But when we look at the States, it's a much bigger country than the UK, obviously. But even taking that into account, yes, it is a large amount of money, but this is the way that politics plays out in the States, and this is what people want to dedicate their money and their time to. And I don't think we should be in a position to say that that's necessarily a good or bad thing. I think it's a shame that the majority of the money is spent on negative campaign ads. I would love to see the money going to more rallies and more get out the vote efforts. So yes, I think there's some criticism on where the money goes, but the actual number itself, I don't think we can criticize. People are incredibly passionate about these upcoming elections. The future of America is on the ballot. Not to say that either party is going to lead to the demise of America, certainly not, but the country is at a turning point. We are going in different directions. We're going to look more like the UK or Europe, or we're going to look more like we did in the 80s when the economy was thriving and you know, people were in work, and people are putting, you know, it's not just wealthy people are putting their money into this. The grassroots campaigns have raised an enormous amount of money. Senator Paul in 2008, I believe it was, won his primary in Kentucky from grassroots money. So these aren't just wealthy benefactors coming in and pushing up the numbers. These are people who are donating to something they care about greatly.
Great to talk to you, Kate Andrews, a Republican, offering her views ahead of the midterms. We will be speaking to a Democrat in just a few moments' time. Lots of you tweeting this afternoon about Wayne Rooney's singing, including Citizen475 saying, OK, you can play Robbie Williams again as long as you don't play Rooney singing.